This is a review of the Sig Sauer P238 semi-automatic pistol. This particular version is the nitron version with the Sig laser. It's chambered in 380 ACP. The length is 5.5 inches. The height is only 3.96 inches. And the width is only 1.1 inches. The weight with the magazine is 15.2 ounces, so it's fairly lightweight. Its capacity comes with a standard magazine that has a 6+1 capacity, and if you get the extended magazine, it has a 7+1 capacity. So pretty good for such a small pistol. The only downside as far as the magazines go is that it only comes with one magazine, the standard size magazine. And for as much as you pay for this pistol, I feel like it should probably come with two. It is single action only, and it does have an external safety. And because it's single action only, its trigger pull isn't very hard to pull, so it's only 7.5 to 8.5 pounds. The barrel length is 2.7 inches, and the sight radius is 3.8 inches. And it actually has really good sights. This was one of the things that drew me to it. They're not really chunky, but they do stand up quite a bit over top of the slide. And when I was looking at a lot of other smaller 380s, the sights were almost non-existent, so I really did like these. These are the regular sights, but you can also get Sig-like night sights. And this one didn't come with those, I think maybe because it had the laser on it, so it wasn't really necessary. But I do really like those sights. Another thing about the sights that I wanted to point out, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a little space underneath the rear sights, and this is actually so that you can rack the slide on something, maybe like your belt or your pants. If you're in a situation where you can't use both hands, that's really good to have. And it has a black hard coat anodized frame finish, and so the frame is that, and then the slide is what Sig calls the nitron finish. So a little bit different, but it does look pretty similar when you're looking at it, this particular version. And this particular version has fluted polymer grips, but you can get some rubber grips or some other things. And I've also seen some pearl grips on this that are really pretty. And it has this beaver tail style frame, so that's really good. So you can ride up on it and not have to worry about slide bite. And as far as the Sig laser goes, turn it on. It's kind of hard to see this bright light, but it's adjustable for windage and elevation, and it actually comes with an Allen wrench to where you can adjust it. You can take it off with this and adjust the elevation and windage for your laser. The elevation adjustment, I don't know if you can see this, but it's actually on the bottom. And the windage right here on the other side. Now, one thing I did want to point out about the laser, before I get to that, actually, I forgot to mention, it does turn on and off on both sides, which is good. But one thing I want to mention about the laser is when I initially got this pistol, the laser was having some issues. Every time I would fire a shot, the laser would cut off. And I opened it up and looked at it. It looked like there was something going on with the battery. The way it was staying in there, it was kind of coming loose. And so I kind of fidgeted with it a little bit and got it to where it didn't turn off after every shot, but I was still not real happy with it. So I called Sig, and they told me to send it in. I sent it in. The process was really great. Their customer service is really great. And they sent me a brand new one. And I haven't had any problems since then. So I'd just like to give a shout out to Sig customer service. They were really good with that. It didn't take much time at all. They paid for shipping, so that was really great. Another thing that I want to point out is that I was having a really hard time trying to pick a gun for concealed carry. And being a female, there are a lot of issues with concealed carry. You really want to have something really small as you can get, and still feel comfortable with it. So I tried out quite a few different guns before I came to this one. And actually I shot a lot of guns, so I would really suggest, especially for a concealed carry gun that you're going to carry every day, to really take some time, do your research, and also go to the range and shoot the guns that you're considering, because that made a lot of difference to me. I actually shot some other 380s, like the Ruger LCP, Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, the Glock 42, and then several small 9mm that I like pretty well as well. The Car CM9 was one of those, and I looked at countless others. So, but anyway, what I kept coming back to is just how good this feels to shoot. Some of those other little guns just had a lot of recoil because of their polymer frames. They had quite a bit of kick to them, and they were something that I didn't really feel comfortable with shooting regularly, and that's not something that I wanted, because if this is going to be the gun that I'm carrying every day for self-defense, I want to feel really comfortable with it, and I want to practice with it a lot. So this gun, I actually really enjoy shooting at the range, so it's actually really accurate for such a small gun too. So and you know, one of the main things for concealed carry, other than just the size as far as the height, the length and everything, is the width of it. Actually is one of the most important things I've found, because the width is what, you know, if it's small enough, it keeps you from printing very obviously. So it's actually very, very small, and I think the width, the 1.1 inches, includes, you know, these external safety and the slide locks, so it's actually a little bit thinner than that gives it credit for, or it feels thinner anyway. So I think that's really good, and I wanted to show you a couple of my concealed carry holsters as well. But before I do that, I want to mention also, for females, I really wanted to pick one that was easy to manipulate the slide, and this one is very easy. And also, I wanted something with low recoil, as I already mentioned, and small enough to wear inside the waistband or carry in a purse. So I'm going to show you a few of my concealed carry options as far as holsters go that I use with this. And my most favorite one is this crossbreed inside the waistband holster. And they have lots of different variations of this. Lots of different manufacturers make these. But it's basically a cross between leather and Kydex. And that's really important for me, I think, because the reholstering is really easy as well because of this Kydex. So you can see, it slips in like this, has pretty good retention, which is really important for a single action only pistol. You want this trigger guard to be completely covered. So everything that I was looking at had this feature, having that trigger guard completely covered. And while I'm mentioning that, let me just mention another thing about the safety. It does have a manual safety, and I want to point out that when you're choosing a gun for concealed carry, this is a really important thing to think about. Some people don't like having a manual safety, and some people like using double action only pistols for concealed carry. But I really liked having the safety there. It's very similar to the 1911 style, which I'm really comfortable with. But one difference between the 1911 that I found was that this particular Sig Sauer P238 lets you chamber around with the safety on, which makes me feel a little more comfortable about carrying one in the chamber. So you can actually do that with the safety on. So another one of my holsters is just a little simple inside the waistband holster, and there's just clips. You know, usually appendix carry is the best one, the best way to wear this one. And I also have an Uncle Mike's ankle holster, and it has this little calf strap with it. This isn't super comfortable, but it's actually pretty okay. Some of the other ankle holsters I looked at just weren't comfortable at all, and this one has quite a bit of padding. What I also did, and I got this tip from another YouTuber, she actually put a sock around the inside of that, which was really helpful to me. It made it a lot more comfortable. And then also I wanted to show you how small this pistol is, because this is actually a clutch purse, and you can actually fit this in there. Now, I wouldn't probably recommend putting this in a purse without a holster, because the trigger guard isn't fully covered, but they make fairly small holsters that you can use. As you can notice, it fully fits in there. So you can even put it in something as small as a clutch bag, so that's something to keep in mind. But again, I just really love this pistol. And I wanted to show you also, while I have it up here, the takedown of this pistol. So what you want to do first, make sure the magazine's out. And by the way, I did safety check this gun before this video. But what you want to do first is take the magazine out, and then what you can do is sort of pull it back, and I kind of like to use my right hand to sort of pry it back. And you want to look through right here, this little slide stop, and you want to line that little rod up with that opening. And if you look on the back side, there's this little pin you can push, and that's going to push that through right there. And then you can just pull it straight out. And then after that, you can just push it off the front. And it's actually a really easy takedown, which is a lot easier than a 1911. And it's got kind of that 1911 style, so I wanted to point that out. It's a lot easier to take down. So that is one thing I really liked a lot. Now, when you are putting it back together, just be real careful with this spring. And then also it does have something that can be a little tricky. This little lever, the back, you're going to have to push this down when you put the slide on. And again, you just want to line this up like you had it before. Make sure you have that little hole to put this through. Alright. And there you go. So again, really like this pistol. And the next thing I want to do is kind of compare it to some of the other ones that I've tried.